Hi, my name is Chase Cope, and let me ask you a question. Do you like comedy? Well, if you do, I'm sure you're going to be very happy with this interview because today I'm going to be talking with comedian and Kappa who turned his life experiences into laughter, connecting audiences all the way from comedy clubs to college campuses. And that person I'm talking to is none other than Eric Clark. Welcome, and how are you feeling today, Eric?
I'm good. I'm good. I am definitely happy to be here, man. I'm a stand-up comic, but I also have a business too. So I'm just kind of getting off of from a project that I was doing today. But I'm happy to be here, man, talking to you. I'm proud to be affiliated with Kappa League, and when I was in 10th grade, like yourself, man. Um, I didn't even know anything about black fraternities and sororities, and I knew I wanted to go to college. So you are way ahead of the game.
Well, that's a great origin story, and I'm ready to dive really deep into that as our conversation progresses. But
Okay.
let's kick it off with a light question. Who would you say is your favorite comedian and why? But you can't say yourself if that's going to be your answer.
Um, hmm, I don't have a favorite comedian anymore. If you would have asked me that question when I first started, I had my favorites, but but some of the legends that kind of got me, I would just refer to that. The legends that inspired me was probably Bill Cosby and Richard Pryor.
Those are really good choices. I like Bill Cosby. Do you like The Cosby Show? That's definitely one big thing I know him from. It's a pretty good
Yeah,
TV show.
it's iconic. It's definitely iconic, man. And so I definitely pull a lot from Mr. Cosby. Yes.
Well, that's a great choice. And now, for Captain Leaguers who are listening, can you share who Eric Clark is and what comedy means to you?
Um, I was a college student, and you know what, Chase, I was not trying to do comedy. I kind of fell into it, and so what happened was I was graduating from college, and I was working for a high tech company called Hewlett Packard, and I was experiencing some racism on the job, and so I was just kind of frustrated. And I was looking for an outlet. I was looking for an outlet to express myself, and I found an open mic, and so I started just going to the open mic to relieve stress. And as I went to the open mic, I started getting better and started really enjoying what I was doing. And then the next thing you know, I had a friend of mine that was putting together a step show, and they needed an MC, and that was my first paid gig, and I've been working ever since then.
Wow, so let me ask, how, as your experience with the Kappas, I know you hosted your the step show, and I'm sure that's very important to you. Over the course of your time being in the Kappas, has that helped grow your passion for comedy over that time?
Well, I can say that the fraternity has definitely supported what I do, as far as not only coming to shows, but also a lot of the different chapters of Cap Alpha Psi have wanted to do comedy shows for fundraisers. So I've been kind of like a go-to person, especially here on the West Coast, of doing shows for our regional conferences for small chapters. And so plus there's a lot of Kappas that are in the comedy business also. So I've definitely collaborated with some of those brothers. So I am friends with a lot of brothers who are noobs who are in the comedy business, and we have actually have toured together and put on shows. We put on shows called the Kappa Comedy Tour. Also, we put on shows called the Kappas of Comedy. So that included brothers from brother named Delay, Billy Sorellis did a show with us one time. Joe Claire, I don't know if you know these names, but they are comics who've been around for many years. And so So the fraternity has been a addition or a plus to the business for me.
Well, that's an amazing experience. What would you say that is your favorite part of doing stand-up comedy? I know it's given you release since before when you were working at a standard company, but over that time, is there anything else that you'd say is one of your favorite aspects of doing comedy?
Being able to travel the world, being able to travel the world. I have went to let's see, 1, 2, 3. I've been to several different countries doing comedy. I've been to I did the military tour, which is a USO comedy tour. You performing for the troops. So I've been all over Korea, all over Japan, and then I was also doing work on some cruise ships also, and so I got to work in countries like the Bahamas, Belize, uh, Bermuda, Costa Rica. So, being a entertainer, you have to go on the road to make money. You know, you have to go across the country. So not only out of the country, but also seeing different parts of the country that I didn't. You know, I'm from the West Coast. So I'm from Oakland, California. So comedy has allowed me to go all over the country and all over the world. So that's one of the pluses about it.
That's a great plus side. I definitely like traveling as well. And let me ask for countless leaguers who are interested in comedy, what steps would you recommend that they partake in if they want to go down that career path?
It's not, the thing about comedy, just like with them being a musician, like say for example that you want to start, making beats or doing something like that, you could just start. A lot of people start on social media, but the real bare bones of doing comedy is getting in front of a real audience and actually seeing and testing what you think is funny in front of them. So I encourage all people that if you want to do comedy, you're going to have to go to the open mics that are in your city. So there's open mics in every city that you can go to try to test and try to build your material. Or try to build some type of stage presence to get over that fear of being in front of people. So if you're interested in doing comedy, you can Google open mics in your city, and then there's probably every city in America has a comedy scene. So you probably have to sign up, and you can go out there. You can test what you have, and so that's the easiest way to get started. So you want to be prepared. Every person that tries to do comedy, you're going to have shows that are going to be bad. That's just the way it is. You have to test your material out. You might think you're funny in front of your family, or you might think you're funny in front of your boys, but you don't know how something's going to land until you get in front of real people. And
Oh,
so,
that's great. Sorry.
yeah. So if anybody wants to do comedy, oh, there's plenty of open mics.
Well, that's great advice. It's definitely important to get out there. And you definitely touched on something that, too, I wanted to ask you about. Everybody knows that comedy can be nerve-wracking, especially stand-up comedy, since everybody's watching you and you have to perform live, so you have to make sure that everyone finds it funny. But how did you personally build that confidence? Was it over time? What advice would you give to someone who is still in that stage of building the confidence to get out there and actually do stand-up comedy?
Well, the thing is that you never really get over being nervous and butterflies. I still get butterflies doing comedy, even though I've been in the business for a while. So you never that never goes away. It's being able to manage it and being able to still think on your feet, and to be able to talk to yourself and tell yourself that what you have written or whatever stage presence that you have is going to be okay. Also, you have to have the you have to get over things quickly also. So if you have a show that doesn't go well, it couldn't be other factors outside of your just material not being good enough to where the show wasn't good. So you always have to, comedy is always, you always have to go back to the drawing board, and you have to revamp what you said or find another word that might be better for it. So it's not it's a craft. So you can be, you have to have presence and presence and personality, but at the same time you have to have good content. And so with good content, you have to, like I said, you have to test it out. So what I do is, when I do sets or when I am practicing, I video record myself and I audio record myself also. And so that way, after I do a show, I can edit and I can change things that I feel like it could be said better or delivered better. So yeah.
Well, that's also amazing advice. And ultimately, what you say is your biggest general piece of advice to a cat leaguer who's listening, who wants to go into the comedy field or really any creative expression. What last piece of advice would you give them?
I would just say good luck. I would say that you have to love it. That's what I would say. You have to love it. And also, when you first start doing something, everybody's going to be supportive. People are going to come to your shows. But then if you stick with it, you're going to get to a point where you're going to have to build your own audience, and the people that, like your family and your friends who are excited, are you still going to be committed to it when their excitement dies down? So that's the thing. So it's really stick to itness, and so it depends if you really are committed to the craft. Like I said, comedy. There are some situations in comedy where you like, man, you gotta love it. You know what I mean? Like you can, be getting paid a lot of money for working for a short amount of time, for like 30 minutes to an hour. But then at the same time, you can have a show where nobody shows up, and then you still gotta love it. You know what I'm saying? So a business like comedy, there's a lot of highs and there's a lot of lows. And so the thing is that you can never really get too high, you never can get too low. And so that's my would be my advice.
Well, thank you for sharing that. That's truly inspirational. It's just the practice of trial and error in knowing that, as you said, you'll have high points and you'll have low points, and to keep
Yeah.
moving forward, even with that being said.
Yes.
And now,
Yeah.
the last question I want to ask you, you personally, when people hear your name, Eric Clark, what do you want them to remember you as in the future, in your legacy as a comedian?
It's a good question. Let me think about that. How do you want to remember me? I just want them to remember me as someone who was honest on stage, someone who's honest on stage, and someone who is tried to bring healing through laughter. You know, that's what I want people to remember me as: someone who's honest, as someone who's authentic, and someone who's a healer.
Thank you. That's a great perspective and really an awesome legacy. And I know that one day people, even probably now, do think of you as that. So I just want to say thank you for joining me today. And thank you, Cat Leaguers watching.
Thank you, Chase.